Alright guys, so today we're going to discuss, in my opinion, and I believe this is a fact, the highest paying medical job you can have with just a high school diploma. And this is without knowing someone or without sort of kind of working your way through the ladder. This is the bare bones, highest grossing high school diploma employment you can have in the medical field. And what am I talking about here? I'm talking about a dialysis tech, or a CCHT. I do have video on this before. I didn't quite feel like I did it as much justice as needed to be done, so I'm revisiting it, but I'm also going to keep the other video up. Also, a dialysis tech and a CCHT are not the same thing. They do the same job, yes, but think of a dialysis tech as an entry level, and then a CCHT as sort of a certified dialysis tech. We'll get into a few differences here in just a minute, but let's talk about finances, since this is kind of what I led off the video with. The North Carolina average, and I was very surprised to see how high this was. The North Carolina average for a dialysis tech, I could not find the figures for a CCHT, so forgive me for that. This is only for dialysis techs. $18.05 an hour average here in North Carolina. That is $37,544 a year. Pretty good money, especially seeing how you just need a high school diploma for this position. Nationally, you're going to make a little bit more money at $19.29 an hour, or $40,123.20 per year. That is pretty good money. Like I said, especially for not having anything but a high school diploma. I mean, that is, believe it or not, that is more than my base pay for my first nursing job that I had several years ago. So, excuse me. So, pretty good money for just having a high school diploma. Now, in full disclosure, you are going to work for that money. I have never been a dialysis tech. I was a dialysis nurse, so I did get to see what they did. And I can say, as I was a CNA and watching the dialysis techs, you're probably more busy as a dialysis tech. It is definitely a faster paced, higher functioning job than the CNA was. The CNA, you're going to do a lot more things. As a dialysis tech, you're going to be a lot more specific in one thing, or one task, I should say. But it is definitely, in my opinion, a harder job. The dialysis tech is definitely a harder job than the CNA. So, what exactly do you do as a dialysis tech? So, as a dialysis tech, you're going to do a lot of math. You're going to have to figure out how much weight to take off of an individual. When they come in, someone weighs, they say, hey, I've got on, like, let's just say 5 pounds. You go back to the machine, you type in all your little numbers, you do your math for 5 pounds, or if you're in kilograms, I'm just going to say 5 kilograms. I know 5 pounds and 5 kilograms don't equal each other, but for argument's sake, I'm just going to say you've got 5 kilograms to take off. So you figure it up in your machine, you say 5 kilograms, take it off, however many hours this person runs, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, however much this person runs, however much fluid I'm giving you. Also, in your dialysate, and what kind of bath you're on, and the kind of bath they're on is sort of like it's a medical order, basically, the bath is. And the bath is what goes through the machine with the blood that cleans the blood. It's kind of the best way to put it to people. There's really no easy way to put that. It's what goes through the filter when the blood comes through the filter as well. That filters all the toxins out of the blood. In any case, you figure out the bath. You do the math for the bath. All the fluids that you're about to give. There's quite a bit of math, quite a bit of paying attention involved in just setting up that machine. Then you set that machine up, and then you connect them to the machine either through a what they call a fistula, like a great big vein that's been surgically placed in somebody's arm, or a port, some sort of tubing that comes out of a chest or a neck or a leg or an arm. And then you connect them to the machine. and you monitor that individual for however long they're on that machine. However, that may sound like it's not very hard. You're not just monitoring one individual as a dialysis tech. You're probably monitoring 4 to 5 to 6 individuals as a dialysis tech. So you are constantly moving, and you've constantly got alarms going off from blood pressures and whatnot. And the whole time the nurse is right there with you monitoring as well, but the nurse has a bigger team, and they are relying on you, the dialysis tech, to do your job and to monitor these individuals, as they need you. The nurses need you probably more than any other helping medical position, I'll say. Nurses, we definitely need CNAs. A good CNA can make or break your night, but a good dialysis tech, you definitely seek. As a nurse, I can say, as a nurse who's been on a dialysis unit, I can say when I had good techs, I knew that my day was going to be better. Definitely not easy, as there was still plenty to do from on my end. But if I had good techs, I could rely on my good techs, and I could check their math after everything was hooked up, realizing that they've definitely done right and their maths are correct. If I had bad techs, or if I had techs I knew I had to check behind, it was just not fun, and I would have to spend a lot of time doing math, and that took away from my other duties that I had to do as a nurse. So a good tech with some good math skills is definitely what you need. Now, here's kind of where the differences of the tech and the CCHT come into play. A CCHT can do a little bit more further and beyond from what a tech can do, especially with the care for the bandages. As I said, they have the ports to them. And they have little bandages, and they need changed every so often, whatever your policy is. Ours was like twice a week. It was like Saturday and Wednesday, I think. Anyways, you have to change these little, not the port themselves, but the bandages. And the CCHTs were the only ones who could do them other than the nurses. There were techs, CCHTs, and nurses, and the CCHTs and the nurses could change these bandages. And there was a little bit to them. They were definitely sterile procedures. So if you want to learn sterile procedure, definitely become a CCHT. And so they would change these, and they were definitely a big help. You tried to have one CCHT per team to definitely help with all of those wound changes. Now, that's just one thing that they could do. There were definitely others, and I don't want to upset the CCHTs because they were definitely prideful that they were CCHTs. Now, how do you become a CCHT? So really, it is just, all you have to have is a high school diploma, and then you have to have experience as a tech. And I could not find an exact number, probably because it varies from state to state. But here locally, you can become a CCHT after 18 months of being a dialysis tech. So you do 18 months of being a tech. You say, hey, I want to go ahead and get my CCHT. And then you go get your CCHT through an exam. I'm sure that there's various other trainings that you have to do. But it is an exam, and then it becomes, you become accredited for having a CCHT. And they were definitely a big help. And like I said, there were more that they could do other than the wounds. That's just what I'm going to talk about today in this video. So that is the highest paying position you can have with just a high school diploma in the medical field. Now, there are also, like I said, high paying positions in the medical field with just a high school diploma, but you kind of got to know somebody. You kind of got to work your way up. This is bare bones, start at the bottom. You're making pretty good money. So, hope it helps. Thank you much.